So today I've come to what's seen as controversially Britain's smallest town. It's also the host of an international sporting event, and it's the heartland of a British political party. Let's take a look. So today I'm in Llanwrtyd Wells. At least that's how I think you say it. Hopefully we'll bump into some people later and find out how it's actually pronounced. Anyway, we're just going to take a walk around. We'll start off up in town at the pub, because where else would you want to start a journey but at the pub? So the first thing that strikes me as I come out of the train station, it's just how nice this place looks. Hopefully the town will be just as nice, but there's some really beautiful houses just here. So I've got the Neuadd Arms Hotel here. This is where the pub is. Let's go in and have a look. So this is a proper traditional British pub. You don't really find pubs like this anymore. It's absolutely stunning. So much character, it's unbelievable. If you're this way, you have to come in here and check it out. So I've been told there's a band coming in here to practice a little bit. So hopefully we'll get to have a little chat with them. So could you tell me who you guys are and what do you do?
My name's Jan Howard and I play the fiddle with Nigel.
And are you a duo? Are you in a band? Are you?
Yeah, we have a band, a bigger band called Clean Slate String Band.
Okay.
And we play as a duo. Well, we're actually playing for the first time as a duo this Friday in Bristol.
Okay.
And we're going under the name of the Upstrokes, which is a bit of an in-joke. The Upstrokes. Okay. Yeah.
Do you want to tell me more about the in-joke?
Is it a euphemism?
Well, there's there are various interpretations of the way that old-time Appalachian music should be played.
Okay.
And one of the things is very often you're in environments where the guitarist is expected to play just. That's all downstrokes, but I play a lot of upstrokes.
Okay. So you're breaking the trend now.
Yeah,
you're a trendsetter.
It's an evolving genre. So.
And can you tell me a bit more about the genre of music that you do play?
Well, it's old-time Appalachian music. It comes from the Appalachian Mountains of America, which originally came across the ocean from Scotland, Ireland, England, Wales, yeah. And Europe. Western Europe, Eastern Europe, all over the place.
Amazing.
Into the melting pot.
And how long have you been playing this style of music?
I've been playing it about 20 years now.
So a while. Yeah, and me. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, guys. Cheers.
Good.
Good.
Right, could you tell me who you guys are and where we are?
Well, I'm Bernie and I'm June, and we're in Llanwrtyd Wells.
And is that how you definitely pronounce it?
That's how I pronounce it, Llanwrtyd Wells.
So is there a little bit of dispute about how it's pronounced? Then?
Well, you have to have a Welsh accent to do it.
That is true. And if you're North Walian or South Walian or
And
West Walian, you'll
changes.
pronounce it differently.
So can you tell me what you really like about the town?
I don't know. I think there's some ley lines here that sort of like just converge, and then everyone arrives. And if you're a bit quirky, you're just drawn to the place. And then I only came 2 nights away. We put a pin in a map to have a break, get away from busy old Essex, and just fell in love with Llanwrtyd. How did you find it? I can't remember.
We were looking for a B&B that we could afford.
See, we weren't even looking to move or anything.
Yeah,
You used to own a B&B here, is that
I
right?
still do.
You still do?
Still live in it. Don't run B&B anymore. But we were looking for something that we could afford to earn a living from. So because we were a bit too young to retire.
That's why we did.
Same reason. It's been wonderful place to be.
So it's a very different town to a lot of towns. It's got a definite edge to it.
It was, well, apart from the fact that it's really small, the smallest town in the UK, or best village in Wales, depending on which competition we're entering. No, we're a small town, whatever the definition of town is. But it's kind of a place full of quirk and alternative, you know. And I didn't know when I moved here. I didn't know.
People who are prepared to volunteer and keep things going, the things that Gordon started, for example, wouldn't happen unless the community volunteered to keep them going.
So can you tell me a little bit about Gordon, who he was?
Gordon was quite a character. I hope I'm doing justice, but he came here in the 70s to pony trekking.
Yeah.
And he fell in love with the place, with his wife, and they moved here and they bought this pub, the Neuadd Arms Hotel, and they became the landlords of the Neuadd Arms Hotel. And he was ex-military, ex-salesy, marketing type person. And he just thought, I need to find ways to bring more people in. Pony trekking was on the decline, so less and less people would come to pony trekking. And he created Man v Horse over several pints with punters in the bar. They probably had a conversation that went something like, I wonder what's faster over a long distance. And they kind of going, well, a horse has got to be, but they slow down when there's water and they're not very good downhill. And so they had this thing and they set up this thing, and originally it was Man v Horse v Bike.
Okay.
So for the first few years they had all three racing the same 22 to 23 mile course. Gordon, I don't know if he knew the guy from William Hill, Graham.
Probably.
He probably knew the guy from William Hill. But
William, it's not a guy that would know everyone.
Yeah. So William Hill sponsored Man v Horse for 25 years, actually. So basically they said they would sponsor it to try and find a person on foot that was faster than a person on horse. And it accumulated. So every year another grand got put in. By the 25th year, there was a big pot of money to win, which attracted more professional runners and fell runners. And so for the first time, a person on foot, Hugh Logby, the fastest horse. But he was also, I can't even think what his name is, Graham somebody. Anyway, the guy, I've forgotten his name. But anyway, so William Hill also sponsored Screaming Lord Sutch,
yes.
who used to come along and give out the prizes for that Manby horse, and fell in love with this place as well. Sort of adopted this pub as his Welsh
Screaming Lord Suches. How would you describe it?
Well, that's interesting.
How would you? I know.
How would we describe
Well, that's him there on that picture. But he's a musician.
an activist?
An
really.
activist.
Yeah.
Yeah. An activist. So before that, he created alongside Alan Hope the Monster Raving Loony Party.
Yeah.
Before that, he had the Teenage Party. I think it's called the Teenage. And he set that up in his youth as a musician to campaign to get the vote down from 21 to 18. Was successful.
They were a British political party.
Yeah,
weren't they?
yeah. So they were a British political sort of protest party, and still are. The Monster Raving Loony Party still very much exists. Still always fields candidates in every election to a lesser or greater degree.
But they're seen as a bit of a joke, but actually they've actually had a little bit of an impact
They
on
have.
actual politics.
There's lots of things that have been on their manifesto that have come to fruition. The voting age for one. Pet passports, that was a loony. So, but I mean, they have a pet. I mean, I'm a member. I'm a static member of the Monster Raving Loony Party. I've stood in general elections and Welsh Assembly and local by-elections, and I've always stood to do it for their own reasons, but really to try and encourage the population to engage in the democratic system that we have. Because it's not perfect, and it's pompous, and it's slow, and it's daft most of the time, and people feel disengaged. So I've always stood to go, please vote, preferably not for me, but if you're not going to use your vote, I'll be your none of the above.
So I'm going to head out and explore around in a little bit. Is there anywhere you think I should definitely go and check out?
You can go and check out where there's going to be the stone skimming.
Yeah.
Next weekend, so that's up by the lake. If you go up to the end of the road and turn under the railway bridge.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak to me.
Good to see you. That's what I love about this pub. You never know who you're going to bump into and what the conversation's going to be.
Well, they say if the cap fits, wear it. Well, I don't know. Does it suit me? It fits. So I was just speaking to a lady in the pub who didn't want to speak on camera, but she's told me to come down and speak to Peter Cook. He's got a little shop down here that's been here for many years. I think he's a little bit of a character. So let's go in and have a look. So could you tell me who you are and where we are?
I'm Peter Cook, and you're in what used to be the old medical hall. This was the chemist, the pharmacy.
Okay.
And when we moved here in 1965, my father was the pharmacist. And we had a petrol pump on the footpath outside. We sold Shell petrol. On the side wall, we had a Shell oil dispenser that used to pump into quart or pint pots. In the backyard, we had an Aladdin pink paraffin tank. Everybody kept their houses warm in Llanwrtyd on paraffin in those days. You could smell it as soon as you walked into the houses. We sold all the veterinary goods. We sold sheep dip, marking fluid, worm drenches, fluke drenches, vaccines, anti-sear, all sorts of things. We sold wines and spirits. We sold cigarettes and tobacco. We sold fishing tackle. We sold shotgun cartridges. We sold farm and garden seed. We sold all the bags of fertilisers, the Growmore and the sulphate of potash and the sulphate of ammonia. We sold onion sets and shallots and heavens knows what.
So you're an essential part of the community back then?
Back then we were. And back in those days, the farmers mostly ran accounts. So we had like 3 monthly or 6 monthly accounts, something like that. A lot of the farmers bought their petrol here. bought their paraffin here, bought their sheep dip and all that kind of thing here. And so it went on.
So how have you seen the place change over the years?
There are less indigenous Welsh people here now. When I came in 1965, a lot of the people had been born and brought up in Llanwrtyd Wells. There were a few incomers from the outside, like we were, but it was mostly indigenous Welsh people who'd been here, all their lives, really. One of the attractions for me coming here was I was a keen angler, and there was a river here which had brown trout, and it had salmon that came up here in the autumn. And we also had some dace, we had chub, we had grayling, we had small pike would come up here in the summer. We had eels came up the river here. So it's quite a place. We sold fishing tackle. A lot of the village children had fishing rods and reels, and they would sit upon the bridge fishing and that, and children would bring fish into the shop here to have them unhooked. And the smaller children who fished with nets and jam jars would come in to have things identified that they'd caught in the river, things like bullheads or stone loaches. If they'd been poking under the riverbanks, they might get dragonfly larvae, great big ugly things that they'd bring in to have identified.
So you were helping them identify what all these amazing bits of wildlife were out there?
Yes, but a lot of the children either fished or played in the river. In the summertime, they floated down the river on rubber rings and all that type of thing. You don't see so many children now in the river as there used to be then.
Just not allowed out so much anymore, I guess.
Probably not allowed out some more, besides which it's probably not a good idea sometimes to be doing too much bathing in these rivers.
No.
Because they're not absolutely clean, You can get rats along the riverbanks and that, and you could pick up something from rats that have been in the water.
Do you remember when the sort of the bog snorkeling championship and man versus horse competitions were sort of introduced?
I can't remember the exact dates. No, as I say, I came in 65. And how long was it before Gordon Green came? I don't know. As I say, when I came in 65, the Neuadd Arms was run by the Bowens for quite a while. And then there was Peter Bett Chinnery and Irene and Ron Skilton. They teamed up and they ran the pub. And they also started up the Mid Wales Riding Centre to teach people to become like trekking guides.
So good memories for you then?
Yes. And
it was a nice place to sort of grow up. And
we had the big Llanwrtyd Hotel, which had about 52 bedrooms, and we had the Llanwrtyd Hotel that take quite a lot of people, as well as the Neuadd Arms and like the Bellevue and that, And the big hotels like Llanwrtyd, people would come and stay for a week or a fortnight.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
No, that's okay.
And I'm going to head on down that way, I think.
Yes.
Thank you.
No.
So I'm absolutely loving it here so far. It's got a really nice atmosphere and all the locals are just so friendly. Have you got anything you'd like to say?
Yes, I think you should like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section.
Thank you very much. So it's the home to several world sporting events here. We're just going to head up to the site of one of them. So as far as I can work out, this is the site of the World Stone Skimming Championships. If I'm wrong, and leave a comment in the comment section. But yeah, this is one of the major sporting events that is held here. And now we're just at the site of another one. And just down here, we've got the site of the World Bog Snorkeling Championships. I can't get right down to where the site is, I don't think, because it's not open to the public back there. But this is where it is. Every year people race through these waters here to be the World Bog Snorkeling Champion. So what can I say about Llanwrtyd Wells? Well, I don't know if I can say it, so I'm not 100% sure. But it's a really interesting place, full of characters. There's not a huge amount going on in the town centre, but the events that they hold throughout the year look really interesting, and I'm hoping to come back, especially for the man versus horse competition. Anyway, I'll see you next time.